In a dramatic turn of events on November 18, 2025, the U.S. House of Representatives passed the Epstein Files Transparency Act by a staggering 427 to 1 vote, demanding that the Department of Justice publicly release all unclassified investigative files related to Jeffrey Epstein. This is not a drill. It really happened, and the implications could be massive. The Epstein Files Transparency Act, H.R. 4405, requires the Justice Department to turn over all unclassified documents, communications, records, and investigative materials connected to Jeffrey Epstein and associates, like Ghislaine Maxwell. Crucially, it stipulates that redactions are allowed only to protect victims, ongoing federal investigations, or national security, but not simply to shield reputationally sensitive information about public figures. The bill would force these records into a searchable, downloadable format, making them accessible to journalists, survivors, researchers, and the American public. The vote, near unanimous with only one dissent. The final tally, 427 in favor, just 1 against, and 5 abstentions. The lone no vote came from Rep. Clay Higgins of Louisiana, a staunch Trump ally. Higgins publicly defended his opposition, arguing that the measure abandons 250 years of criminal justice procedure and could injure thousands of innocent people, witnesses, alibi providers, even family members who were never criminally implicated. His concern is that names appearing in the files, even if someone was never prosecuted, could be widely misconstrued, causing reputational harm. This vote didn't happen out of nowhere. For months, there's been mounting pressure from both sides of the aisle, survivors, activists, and whistleblowers, to make Epstein's investigation as transparent as possible. Initially, President Donald Trump resisted. He framed it as a partisan issue, calling the push a Democrat hoax. Even House Speaker Mike Johnson, a Republican, had been delaying or resisting bringing the bill to a vote. But in a sudden reversal, Trump has now pledged to sign the bill into law if it passes the Senate. He told reporters he wanted everybody to be able to see the files, although he also warned against over-politicizing the release. Speaker Johnson, while voting for the bill, has expressed concerns about potentially exposing victims or sensitive information and has urged the Senate to consider amendments to tighten privacy protections. Why this vote is huge. 1. A historic win for transparency. This legislation represents a major victory for survivors calling for accountability. For decades, Epstein's case was cloaked in secrecy, powerful names, hidden communications, shadows. Now, lawmakers are demanding to open the curtains. 2. Rare bipartisan unity. Getting 427 votes, including overwhelmingly from both Democrats and Republicans, shows that some issues transcend party lines when public demand for truth and justice is strong enough. 3. Trump's reversal is telling. Trump's shift from opposition to support is politically significant. Whether this is a genuine change of heart or a tactical retreat is unclear, but his backing now gives the bill serious momentum. 4. Senate and presidential hurdles ahead. Passing the House was a milestone, but it's not over. Now the ball is in the Senate's court. Trump has said he will sign the bill if the Senate passes it. If every senator agrees, or by unanimous consent, the files go to Trump's desk. But if the Senate drags its feet, delays, or demands changes, this could get complicated. 5. Public pressure and accountability. With this vote, Congress is sending a message. The public deserves to know what was in those files. Epstein's network wasn't small, and many believe there are still powerful individuals who haven't been held fully accountable. Rep. Clay Higgins stands alone in his opposition, and that's more than symbolic. Higgins argues that the bill could expose innocent people who were merely named in passing. He warns about broad reveal to a rabid media, suggesting a fear that, without careful handling, this could turn into a media spectacle rather than a sober release of historical documents. But critics say his objections ring hollow. This isn't simply about press sensationalism, but about real accountability. Higgins' dissent underscores the tension between transparency and privacy, between the public's right to know and the risk of collateral damage to those mentioned in the documents. What happens next? All eyes on the Senate. So where does the bill go from here? Senate vote. After passing the House, the bill needs a Senate vote. Senate Majority Leader John Thune has indicated it could move fairly quickly, but some Republican senators may demand changes, especially around redactions and privacy protections. Trump signing. Assuming the Senate approves it, Trump would sign it into law. That would force the Justice Department's hand to comply within 30 days. Redactions and release. While not everything may be fully unredacted, the law bans redactions purely for image or political protection. These documents would likely be made public in a searchable and downloadable format, a huge win for transparency. Survivor impact. For Epstein survivors, this could be a monumental moment. Many have fought for years to have their stories taken seriously and to see justice done. UPI public release may lead to renewed media investigations, fresh scrutiny on powerful individuals, or even new legal openings. Risks, criticisms, and realpolitik. Even though the vote was overwhelming, this isn't a guaranteed clean win. There are risks. Senate changes. The Senate could attach amendments that water down the law, especially around redactions or privacy language. Dilution or delay. Some lawmakers may drag their feet or demand privacy protections that undermine the force of the transparency. Selective release. Critics worry that not all documents will be equally accessible. Some could be heavily redacted or replaced with summaries. Political spin. Trump's support came at a politically convenient time. Some speculate this could be more about optics than accountability. Media fallout. If documents are released widely, people named, even tangentially, could face reputational damage even if they were never implicated in wrongdoing. Why this vote matters now. Bridge between parties. This fight has united a surprising number of Republicans and Democrats, a rare moment of bipartisan power in a highly divided Congress. Accountability over power. Epstein's case remains one of the most notorious scandals of recent decades. Releasing these files could finally hold power to account, or at least open a window into what was hidden. Public demand for truth. The public has long demanded answers. With survivors pushing and survivors rallying, Congress is responding on a scale that makes it hard to ignore. Historic precedent. If successful, this could set a precedent for transparency, not just on Epstein, but in other high-profile criminal investigations. For once, records long buried in secrecy may become part of the public record. Yes, the House has spoken in a near-unanimous voice, but the fight isn't over. The Senate now holds the fate of this legislation in its hands, and the pressure will be intense. If the Senate fails, public outrage will likely swell again. But if it succeeds and Trump signs it, we may see a monumental shift in how Epstein's case is understood by lawmakers, victims, and the public. Make no mistake, this vote was historic. But unless the Senate and President act, it's only the beginning. This could be one of those moments where transparency triumphs or where political maneuvering quietly wins again. All of America is watching, and the stakes couldn't be higher.